What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a bit of a different video, because today I'm actually going to be predicting, well, this is an early prediction of what I think League One could end up as. And it's just an early prediction. This could completely change by the time we get to August. So don't take what this is straight off the bat, because obviously yet we don't have an idea of what's happening yet. This is only an early prediction. So this is like a trial prediction, if you like. And if you like this video, hit a like. Let's see if we can get up to 250 likes on this video. If you are new to the channel, comment who you think, what your predictions could be for League One. Subscribe, it is free to do. Click the notification bell and then click them and put them on to all, so you're always going to be notified for every single video I upload, whether that's off my PS5 or like this. And for that, it's for no longer further ado, let's hop straight in. So from the early prediction, at bottom of the table in 24th, Shrewsbury. Now, Shrewsbury have just kind of gotten themselves out of issues, but I think next season, with the likes of Crawley and Wrexham, Stockport, Mansfield coming up, and obviously teams like Huddersfield, Birmingham and Rotherham coming down from the Championship, I think this could really be the season Shrewsbury's going to struggle and end up bottom of the table. I think there will be some wins, but I just don't think it will be enough for them to stay in League One. I think they're going to be done. I think they're going to have trouble. I think teams... Now, if you've seen Welcome to Wrexham, you know that Wrexham do get physical, and I think that could be a big problem with Shrewsbury. I don't think their players are going to be physically up to combat teams like Wrexham, but hey, who knows. My 23rd place will be Northampton. Now, we know that Northampton did just survive. Quite high up the table a bit. The bookies are saying quite a bit of a decline. I think they will be quite hammered unless they make decent signings. I think they're going to get a bit like Shrewsbury. I think they're going to get hurt a little bit more. And I think they have a bit more to not be bottom of the table, but I just don't see them. If they don't do any good signings, I just don't see them getting out the relegations. I think they could end up getting relegated to League Two, which I will feel sorry for them. So my 22nd position is Exeter City. Again, Exeter's a bit like Northampton. I think they will do a bit better than Northampton, but again, like Northampton, if they don't make good signings, I really do think they're going to struggle, and they will end up being relegated in 22nd place down to League Two. Again, that'd be another team I will feel sorry for, because Exeter and Northampton are good clubs, but if you're not going to get good signings in to keep you up or to push for the top six, it's time to say bye-bye to League One and hello to League Two. 21st, Cambridge United. I think Cambridge could do it, but at this moment in time, from the early prediction, I think this could be a problem. I think they're just not going to have the players to get them out. And that is quite sad. Because when you've got teams like that who can do well, and yet you might not get the right players in it, it's sad. But I've got them as an early prediction in 21st to go down. Now, scraping and just staying on the top in League One on the skin of their teeth is newly promoted Crawley Town. I think with Crawley winning the playoff final, they're going to have the money. I think they're going to do some pretty decent side. I don't think they're going to be able to get the top. Don't think they're going to quite manage mid-table, but I think they will just have enough to survive and go again in League One for the following season. Now, in 19th, Leyton Orient. I think Leyton Orient, I think their target should be trying to get near the top of the table, or even roughly in a very strong mid-table spot as like a stepping stone. But early prediction, I think they're going to be 19th. I think they're going to still be like Crawley. They're going to have enough to survive, but I just think it's just not going to be enough to make them feel comfortable. But I think they will just have enough to get them over the line. In 18th is Charlton. And that's actually because I think Charlton will get players to do what the manager wants. But the problem is they might get injuries which could hurt them, and injuries can physically do problems. I really do think Charlton could get higher, but from the early prediction, I think they could end up quite strong in 18th. Barnsley. Yes, Barnsley's had a bit of an up and down of a season, and obviously getting beat in the playoff, but I think they could just completely drop off this season. I think they're still going to do well, but I just don't see them replicating this season that's gone. I think they're going to end up 17th. I think they're going to have some decent points on the board, and they're probably trying to go and buy in some better players, but overall I think they could have a big dip down to 17th. 16th, Peterborough. Now, I put Peterborough in 16th because they're the sort of team that, realistically, are like Bristol City. That they're not good enough to get to the top 6, but they're not so bad that they'll actually get relegated. I think 16th is roughly a good place for them to be from the early prediction. Obviously, like I said, this will completely change by the time you get to June or July, and we start to know what's going on with the players they're buying in. 15th, Lincoln. Lincoln is a good club. They have a good manager. They play brilliant football, but I just feel like they're just not going to have enough to get within the top 10. If they do get some good players in, by my main prediction, by all means, that's a bonus. But I just can't see it myself. But I think Lincoln will have enough to stay up. 14, Wigan. Wigan is a very bizarre team. They're a bit like Cardiff. They're unpredictable. You can't quite tell if they're going to be good or bad in a game, and I think that can come with a bit of an advantage with Wigan, but I think teams will start to suss them out, especially the newly promoted teams might start to suss them out and figure the way they play and beat them and cause issues for them. But overall, I think Wigan will do enough to get into the mid-section of the table, but 14th, I would reckon, would be a good season for Wigan. Mansfield, 13th. This would be a good season for Mansfield. If Mansfield can keep a bit of good momentum going, I can't see them getting in the top 6, but for them to get 13th and mid-table in League One, I will be happy with that. Because Mansfield are a very tough team. They were a tough team in League 2, and I reckon they're just going to get that little bit tougher to beat in League 1 and give other teams in League 1, who's been in League 1 for quite some time, that issue. But, yeah, realistically, 13th, I would be, if I was Mansfield fans, I would be happy with a 13th place finish. 12th is Bristol Rovers. They're a little bit like their Bristol rivals, Bristol City. They're not the top 6 teams, and they're not the bottom half teams. They're pretty decent top 12, like mid-table team. I reckon they've got players that can probably stretch for that 10th or 9th position. But if I was Bristol Rovers and a fan of Bristol Rovers, 12th place would be a good finish for me. I would be happy if I was them. 11th is Burton Albion. Yes, Burton Albion have had horrific seasons. But I reckon if they do the best business in this summer transfer window, they could get out of this situation, get up to 11th. But it comes down to the manager. It comes down to the owners and the board. Will they back the manager? Will they get him the players he wants? It comes down to that situation. If not, they could be relegated. But if they do, and they back the manager's decision, I reckon 11th could do it for them. 10, Wycombe Wanderers. Now, Wycombe Wanderers is a very intriguing team. I think they could get 10th place. With the squad they've got, and if they add brilliant additions, they probably will end up being 10th. But I reckon their goal should be within the top 6. I think if Wycombe can do that, get 10th, I think that'd be a good finish for Wycombe Wanderers, and I think their fans will be happy with that. But if I was Wycombe, I would get in good players and push for the top 6. And 9th, Blackpool. Blackpool, again, is another team that usually will have dodgy seasons. But again, I think Blackpool are a bit like Wycombe. If they can get real good players in, or even blow in some really good players from, obviously, the Championship teams, I've got a feeling they could go on and get 9th and probably get a lot of confidence in them if they can get a good winning run going and they get their home form solid, make their stadium like a fortress, and, you know, build upon what they've done and improve it big time. I really think they could get 9th. But again, they should be a team that, if they do well, should be aiming for the top 6. 8, Huddersfield. Yes, Huddersfield is the first of the 3 teams that have sadly been relegated. I think they won't have a trash season. I think they'll have a pretty good season. I don't think they could keep hold of players that could get them into the top 6. But 8th place for Huddersfield will be a very strong finish to a season for them. And I reckon if they can get in the top 12, that could really solidify a very good next season if they can get some good players in. But I think for this upcoming 24-25 season, I just think Huddersfield might lose some good players and might buy good players in. But overall, I think Huddersfield could do it. Reading. Oh, what an escape did Reading do last season. They looked like they could be relegated, and somehow Sellis, if he's still the man, what a turnaround. What a turnaround he did. Yes, at Saints, he didn't really do much. He was trying to get through the last bit of the season from the absolute damage Nathan Jones did after Hasenhüttl got sacked. And to be honest, a 4-4 draw on the last day of the Premier League season from the last season, was a pretty decent finish for him. And for him to try and use that as momentum with Reading, and then to make that big escape, I reckon if he can get some brilliant players in, I reckon he could finish in 7th, like really strong. But he needs to get those players in if he wants to get that 7th place. Now we get to the top 6. Number 6 is Stockport. First in League 2. I think they're going to struggle in League 1. I think they're going to have enough to get into the playoff. Because obviously Stockport have got a really good squad. And if they can add, I reckon, within the top 6 finish, like in 6th place. If I was a Stockport fan, 6th place, I will be happy. Playoff, I mean, come on. You might as well be in 6th place than just outside the playoff. I reckon Stockport could just get away and finish 6th. Number 5 is mainly the first of the 3 relegated teams, Rotherham, and I think they're going to try and fight back this next season. I think they've had a horrible season, an absolute shocker. But you know what? I think they're going to be being not so downhearted. I think they're going to be going, yeah, come on, we need to fight back. We need to prove that we can be in the Championship, and we need to go and we need to prove that we can do this and get some momentum going from the first day. And if they can do that, I think they could do it. I really think they could get into the 5th place and get into a playoff spot. And that would be a much better season for them than what has happened last season. Honestly. I really do think. In number 4 is the other relegated team, Birmingham. Yes, again, I think Birmingham could have better situation for getting playoffs than Huddersfield. I think they will do one better than Rotherham. And I think with the team they will have, if they can keep hold of a lot of their good players, I think they could get the playoff. And I think that will be a really good finish for them. Birmingham 4th. I mean, for the Blues fans, I will take that. I would take that if I was a Blues fan. 100%, I would take that. In 3rd place, Stevenage. I think Stevenage, if they can get that squad sorted out, and get some really, really good League One players in, 100%, I reckon they should be trying to go for playoff. Because I reckon Stevenage could be the dark horse in that playoff race. Because I reckon Stevenage has got quite a difficult squad to try and outsmart. And I reckon if Stevenage can use that to their advantage, they could be right in there as the dark horse. I reckon that could really make the playoffs a little bit more intense and a little bit more entertaining for fans. Now we get to the 2 promotion spots. And second, Wrexham. Yes, Wrexham got second in League 2 when they were practically favourites to win it. And for that, Phil Parkinson done an absolute brilliant job. I have to give him credit. And I think the Wrexham fans absolutely loved that season. But now they need to sort themselves out. I think Phil Parkinson needs the backing of Ryan and Rob. And if they can back him, buy the players that he wants, I reckon Wrexham will be taken and get a back-to-back promotion. In other words, a back-to-back-to-back promotion. Going from promotion from the National League to back-to-back promotions into League One and back-to-back-to-back promotions out of League One into the Championship. I think Phil Parkinson being literally a promotion master and like a promotion tactician, I could see him trying to get the title, but I think he'll fail in the last few games, but do enough to secure second place. Which leads me to number 1, Bolton. Bolton had a bloody good season last season. They absolutely done so well to get to the playoff final. Sad that Oxford sadly did beat them, but I reckon if Bolton can build off that positive outcome despite being beaten by Oxford, I reckon Bolton could go for the title. If Bolton's manager can bring good players in, 100%, I reckon they could actually stretch and go for the title. Beating Wrexham would be a big confidence boost for Bolton. I think Wrexham could be the main rival for Bolton for that title. I'd like to see how those two, Wrexham and Bolton, really would come face to face with each other. Of course, anything could happen. This is only an early prediction. That's how I see the table lying out. But hey, that's only an early prediction. Like I said, it's probably going to start to change as we edge nearer to the start of the new League One 2024-25 season. And that's all I've got for you guys for today. If you enjoyed this video, like I said, leave a like. Comment your early predictions. I want to see how many of you guys have a very early League One prediction. And of course, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Click it. Click all. So you're always going to be up to date for every single one of my videos. Every time I upload. Until the next video, peace out.